Hey, it's time for another top 5 list. And today's top 5 list is going to be answering a question that I got in a live chat the other night. And the question was, what do I think are the top surplus guns to carry for self-defense? What older military surplus guns would still be good to carry today? So let's get on to the list of the top 5 military surplus pistols that I think would still make good EDC guns today. Now, there are multiple reasons why people might want an old Army surplus or surplus gun as a carry gun. One of the reasons is you can get them really cheap. A lot of these guns you can find for like $189 up to $289. In fact, most of the guns on this list are under $300 if you find one. So price is a real good reason why you would want to buy one of these guns. Another good reason to buy one of these guns is history. These guns have a place in history, not only American history, but worldwide history. A lot of these guns were used in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, etc. They've just seen a lot of things. These guns have a lot of history behind them, and a lot of people like that, so that's a great reason to buy one. So with that being said, let's get into our list of what I think are the top 5 surplus or Army surplus guns that are still good today for everyday carry. Now, before I actually get into the list, let's do a little honorable mention here. And the honorable mention is for the model 1895 Nagant revolver. Now, if you've never seen one of these, they're pretty unique looking, and I bet you actually have seen one once you see the picture here. These are awesome guns. Now, they're not going to make the list of top 5 because I think there are far better carry guns out there as far as military surplus guns are concerned. But this gun is awesome. If I saw someone carrying this gun, I wouldn't think, well, they're carrying the best surplus gun they could carry, but I would think that person is a badass. With that being said, let's get on with our list of top 5 surplus guns that are good for carry. Now, number 5 is a gun a lot of people are going to recognize, and it is a Tokarev. More specifically, a TT-33. Now, this is a great little surplus gun, but it's not my favorite surplus gun, so it's going to be lower on the list. A lot of people would probably have it higher, and I would understand if they did. The only real negatives I see to this gun, other than that weird little clip thing on the side holding in the pin, is the fact that it's chambered in 7.62 by 25, which is kind of a more unusual caliber. Most people aren't going to have it. But it's still a great gun, and so it's number 5 on my list. Now, number 4 on the list is also a gun a lot of people are familiar with. It's a Makarov. Now, there's lots of different makes of the Makarovs. There's the Polish makes, the Russian makes. I do believe the one I'm showing you here is Chinese made, but overall, these are just a great gun. And a thing I like about them better than I like about the Tokarev is that these are chambered in 9 by 18 millimeter, which means you can shoot 380 in them. Now, you can't shoot 9 by 18 millimeter in a 380, but you can shoot 380 in a 9 by 18 millimeter. That makes you able to shoot a more modern, easier to find caliber in the gun, and therefore I think it deserves to be a little higher on the list than the previous gun, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. Now, number 3 is a gun I love for multiple reasons, and it is the Colt 1903 or 1908, depending on which caliber you choose. This gun can come chambered in either 9 by 18 millimeter or 380, which you can also shoot in the 9 by 18 millimeter, or 32. It just depends on which caliber you want as to which gun you can get. I find the 1903s are easier to get a hold of, and they're the ones you tend to get the better deal on. So those definitely are a great gun. But there's also another reason I like them other than the fact that they're just a great surplus gun. A lot of people might remember that Batman used to carry a gun in the old comic strips. Now, in that comic strip, they say he carried a Colt, and a lot of people say it was a 1911. But I think when you look at the pictures, it doesn't look like a 1911 to me. It looks like a 1903. So I think Batman carried either a 1908 or a 1903. Now, a lot of people will say, well, it looks to me like it's probably a Tokarev, but I don't think it's a Tokarev because a Tokarev has a very prominent hammer that's a lot higher. That's the reason a lot of people say they think this might be a Tokarev, because they see what they think is a hammer on the back. I think that's just an artist doing something stupid, because the hammer on the Tokarev is much more prominent. I think you'd see it a lot more, and plus the serrations on the back are in the wrong place for it to for it to be a Tokarev. They're in the right place for it to be a Colt 1903 or 1908. And they said it was a Colt, so that kind of rules out Tokarev. So that's another reason that this gun, the 1903 or 1908, is number 3 on my list. Now, number 2 on my list is what I think is actually the best looking surplus gun out there, and it's a gun I really love, and it's the Walther P38. This gun has a very rich heritage, it is a very well-made gun, and it's in a more modern caliber. It's in 9x19. So it's more of a 9mm handgun. It's more modern. So it has that going for it. But it still has all that old world German styling, so it makes the gun really awesome. I just love this gun all the way around, and that's why it's number 2 on my list. Now, the number 1 gun on my list is a gun that you might have seen in The Walking Dead. It's the gun that Morgan used when he finally started killing again, and it is the CZ82/83. Whichever one you choose is dependent on which caliber you want, because the 82s and the 83s, they either come in 380 or in 32. You can also get them in 9x18. So the different number of the gun there denotes the different caliber options you'll have, but they're very much the same gun still. So I've kind of lumped them together here, but they are awesome. CZ makes great guns today, and the guns they made in the past are no real exception. They are great guns also, and I just don't think a lot of people pay enough attention to them. I think this gun right here would be a perfect everyday carry gun for today's times. This gun in 380, it's very reminiscent of a Walther PPK. So it's just a great looking gun, and it's a great shooting gun. So that's why it's number 1 on my list of surplus guns that would be good for everyday carry.